All right. How about that intro? It is Saturday, March 22nd. This is the Sharp Money live stream. We got some good value production going on now. We'll be tweaking some things, but got a nice little banner on the bottom and the top. Thanks to Sigma Squirrel showing us how to do that. But what's going on, Jeff?
Not much, man. What is this? The first time in how many weeks that we've done back-to-back Saturday morning streams? So it's good to get back to a routine and get on here.
Yep. And then, Sigma Squirrel is doing Friday streams in the morning. It seems like he's going to be pretty much doing that weekly. I'm sure there'll be some weeks he'll miss, but definitely going to get back on the live streams here. Hopefully going into baseball season, we can stick with it. So we're going to recap. So first of all, address that. We just noticed that our bot server is down. The server that runs our bot. This has happened to us in the past. Maybe every handful of months it happens for a little bit. But basically, we'll give you guys updates. It should be back and running within a couple hours, I would assume, but we'll keep you guys updated. Crappy time to do it with March Madness going on, but I guess this stuff happens. We're going to look at, we ran a March Madness free entry tournament on ESPN for all of our members. So we'll do a little recap of that, see who's in first place. I think there's like 4 or 5 people tied for first right now, and a couple familiar faces. We'll talk about that as well.
Spoiler, it's not me.
Yeah, I think I'm in I don't even know how many people we had to enter. It was quite a bit.
I think it was like 125.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, a couple Falco in here.
A couple usuals.
Right. Yep. Chef running at a 10% ROI this month.
Oh, yeah.
And run. Yep, that's sweet.
Hey, send some of that positive variance this way, my brother.
Right. My month is looking pretty good. Pretty low volume. I just been busy, but 2.5% ROI, which is kind of like my normal run rate, usually around 2 to 3% for the most part. I don't even have 500 bets this month, but up 1,700. Pretty solid overall. Good CLV as well. How's your month looking so far? I know you've been mostly focused on the props, the NBA props.
Yeah, it's not been a good month. We are limping to the end of March here. January was super good to me. February was about break even. The first half was awful. The second half was great. March has not been good. We are licking our wounds right now, trying to get to the start of baseball season.
Just with the origination stuff or your EV betting?
Both.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say origination is doing better than the EV stuff. Morning grind is, let me see, I'll pull up our March statistics here. Sitting at 27 units in March. So the morning grind's been doing morning grind things, but yeah, just can't catch a break in other places. It's been rough.
Yep. Let's talk about a little MLB. So when's the actual first start of the season? Is it next
Thursday?
It's Thursday.
You're less than a week away. Yeah.
Crazy. So let's go over maybe just some of our, this is probably your 3rd year betting MLB, or 4th year. My 3rd. What do you have for advice for people that are trying to plus EV bet the MLB?
Start slow. I fall into this trap every sports season, it feels like. The first 2 weeks of any season, there's just so much uncertainty in the markets that if you're going to top down it, just go light the first couple weeks of any season. It seems like there's big swings one way or another in those first couple weeks till we get kind of enough data about, with players switching teams and how, team chemistry and just how things are going to flow. That'd be my biggest piece of advice. Otherwise, in terms of betting it from a top-down style, in sharp money, you're looking for the same things. You're looking for good trends. You're looking for, 1.5 to at least, with a good trend, you're looking at 1.5 to at least 2% EV to fire. But, I know overall last season, Jay's plays absolutely killed the MLB season from a top-down standpoint. So the edges are for sure there, and it's a long season, and you got stuff going on every day for MLB.
Yeah, I had a really good MLB season as well. I can actually, let me pull that up on Pickett. We'll look at we'll pull up all-time MLB, and then I'll look at last year. But yeah, the main thing, it's a pretty smooth chart. Like I said, 3.7% ROI. Let's just look at last year. Or that's this year. 1 and 2 so far. Yeah, 2.8% last year. I got a little flat at the end here, but really good results over like 3,000 bets. 2.82% ROI. This is mostly betting main lines as well. I will say what gets a lot of people, I think, and what got me the first year that I was betting the MLB was getting like caught up in these massive EV plays you see on like player doubles and player triples. And most of the time, the EV percentages probably don't correlate with what they actually should be. So like I would test these large like home run markets at a much smaller unit size, like because you're going to find home run markets that are probably like 10% EV to the market, and it's going to want you to bet like 2 units on something that's like plus 400, and just don't do that. Just flat bet something and then kind of track it and see what works and what doesn't work. But I don't think last year we had line movement for our MLB props, or maybe at the end of the year. So like the hitter props, I definitely want to see some line movement going towards, or away from the bet that we're taking instead of just blindly taking these big ROIs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, props in baseball are probably, especially hitting props, the most variance you'll ever see in a single market. It's just, baseball's just you're wrong more than you're right. So you're playing these really, really long, odd props, and you're going to have huge swings if you're playing those at big unit sizes.
Yep. I'm eager to get in on the hitter props again, especially now that my bankroll is larger, and I probably, so the variant, like if I'm playing smaller, the variance isn't going to bother me, but I definitely got to figure out how to play them, because last year, I think we had a lot of members have success with the home run prop bot, but I think I started out really cold and I just stopped using it. So here's a question from Scott Cross. What about first 5 inning plays, totals, and run lines? Yeah, so we're just looking at Circa, Pinnacle, and Bookmaker on those as well. And what I would say is I think a lot of members struggled with some of the first 5 stuff just because maybe the market was smaller, but we really want to make sure the books are trending in our direction, because playing like some flat lines at like 1% EV might get you in trouble playing like the small stuff. And I know a big conversation last year was first run or no run first inning, which is another one of those really tough markets because they're so hard to stat out. And basically we're just following, the movement of people that are originating their own lines. But if you're, the options are 0 runs and 1 run, it's really hard to stat something like that out instead of like a basketball game that has like 250 points scored. So the first run stuff is very volatile as well.
Yeah, that stuff's just tough unless you're originating it, just because the limit sizes are so small early in the day.
I think we answered this question, Joe, the sharp books. Yeah, Pinnacle, Bookmaker, Circa, all very sharp. We'll go over. Once the season starts, we'll see how much limits each of these books are actually taking. But I'm pretty sure they pretty much come to the same limits by game time. Do you have any idea how much those limits are, Jeff? Like off the top of your head? Like I know NBA gets up to like 40 50K on a normal regular season game. I'm assuming MLB is probably going to be quite a bit less, like 25.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Number.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, like you said, NBA gets like NFL gets to like 100K sides. NBA, I think, caps out around 25.
I've seen
I would
40s on Pinnacle, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you could be right. I mean, once it gets past 10, I mean, the market's pretty fluid. Yeah. Then I would guess MLB probably gets to between 10 and 25, but I'll have to take a look at it once we finally get there.
Yeah,
I'm just most excited to originate some K props.
Yeah, I think we're going to absolutely kill the strikeout stuff. Here's a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to throw this question out there from Clint while we're talking about this. How close to game time are you guys betting? So I'll bet overnight plays. I'll bet right before game time. But basically, I tighten up my process when I'm betting further away. So if I'm betting an overnight line or a really early morning play, like I'm looking for higher EV percentages, more steam in that direction. But if it's right before game time, limits are high. Like even the slightest amount of steam and the smallest EV percentage, like I'm hitting those bets right before game time. And then further out, like I said, I'm just being way more conservative. So I'm hitting them all day long. What are your thoughts on that one, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, the later you get in the day and the higher limits get, the less edge you're going to be able to find. Like you're playing, like if you're talking about the hour, like once lineups are announced, after that, you're talking lineup. Let's say you got a 7 p.m. game. Lineups are going to be out and confirmed probably early afternoon. From that point until game time, especially the 2 hours before game time, you're not going to get huge swings and huge momentum. Like there's not going to be a ton of steam. You'll get a little bit of movement, but you're not going to see the 25, 30 cent moves. The earlier you bet in the day, the less certain you are, but the more edge you have, the more potential you have to gain value. So it's like finding that sweet spot of betting early enough to where the market isn't set and you're trying to jump on some steam early. But like you said, if you're betting earlier in the day, you want to see bigger movements confirming your plays than you do later in the day.
Yeah, I agree. We got Brayton in here, one of our moderators. What's going on, man?
What's up?
So you had a fun.
You got your whole day.
What y'all said?
I said you had a fun little day yesterday, huh?
Oh, man, I drank beer and bet everything I saw for like hours.
You got your whole bankroll out on golf right now?
I got a lot out, but yeah, I was down, man, like $2,500, like early in the night, and just bet everything out in the night, up $100. So pretty pumped up.
Wow.
Rob said, "Good morning, sunshine." I'm pretty sure he's talking to Brayton.
Yeah. So anyway, I battled. It was a battle.
Yeah, I love. I saw that. Yeah, you were down. You were like 1-8 to start the day or something like that. And you're like, all right, I'm just cracking open the beer and just hitting as many EV plays as you can. Yep. And before I went to bed, I saw that you posted you're up like $300 and you had like 150 bets out. I was like, there you go.
Well, it's crazy. Like I think Chap was showing us the other day. This man, I don't know how he does. This man gets out like 1,000 plays a day, it seems like. But his graph on Pickett is the most steady linear incline I've ever seen for an EV bettor, because this man just plays so much volume.
Yeah, volume will smooth everything out in the long run as long as you're on the right plays. And Chap I don't even know if he looks at charts anymore. He just sends everything, but it seems
he just fires.
Yeah.
But I mean, if like honestly though, like if you have an edge and you just play everything you can for like a quarter unit, you're gonna scale down your variance just because you have so much different markets hit.
And that's what I did last night. Like I wasn't looking at charts or anything, just anything that came across my feed, I bet, and kind of evened itself out. So
nice.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing though, is like most of us doing this are doing this as, a second just a hobby or something, when we have some free time, we look at the bots. Not everybody has the time to just be able to fire small unit sizes at everything they see all day long. So you gotta, if you're gonna play, if you don't have the time to do that, that's where it becomes really important to be more selective and fire at only good trends and things that we talk about on a daily basis.
Hey, Brayden, did you enter the March Madness bracket?
The sharp money one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What place are you in?
I started yesterday in an 11th, but I don't know what happened last night.
I need to know. I need you to look because I need to be higher than you.
I don't see your name up here.
I must have fell off yesterday.
We'll talk. I'll just throw this up here so we can take a quick look. We got, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 5 people tied in first. Some familiar names up here. Cobbs Connor up there. Mr. Peters, Mike Reese, Joe, Anthony, all tied for first. 99% bracket. That's pretty damn good to the first round right there. I'm in 41st.
Hey,
I am in 137th place.
Ooh.
Out of like 152. So
you want the guaranteed hammer lock of the day?
What do we got?
Michigan money line at 5:15 Eastern.
Is it actually a good play, or is that just?
I have no idea. That's my fandom coming out.
Yeah, let's.
Let me look at it. I'll tell you if it's a good play.
I was just pulling up.
You know what? I don't even care what this chart says. It's definitely steaming against Michigan, but Michigan money line, you're getting value at plus 148. It opened at 102.
Michigan.
It's only run 50 cents in the wrong direction. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, that's tough.
A lot of time for the market to come back and correct.
Yeah. All right, who else we got? Rob said it's tied for 99th. Go Blues in the chat.
Heck yeah.
I think it's Chap. So Rob C.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was more nervous about our first round game than I am the Texas A&M game.
Well, yeah. What are the odds on that? You guys, right?
Yeah, we're sitting at a 2-point dog right now. Sitting at 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see first time ever through some MMA in the Daily Double today?
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little UFC fight in there.
Nice.
I think it's a women's fight too.
Oh yeah.
Is it bad that I don't even know if it's a men's or a women's fight? I think it is. No.
No, it doesn't matter.
I couldn't name 5 UFC fighters.
Yeah,
but they're in the.
I got into it during COVID and then absolutely stopped watching it, but I do like watching it when I can. Speaking of that, I've been messaging with our API provider trying to get WNBA, UFC, and golf added to our bot here soon, or at least get access to the odds. So hopefully we can make that happen soon.
Golf would be sweet.
Yeah, golf would be nice. It's one of those things that's kind of year round. So it'd be nice to always have golf things going on.
Well, especially in the summer.
Yeah,
like the summer, have something. If we can have MLB, WNBA, and some golf and soccer going on all summer, that's a good amount of volume right there to be betting all summer long.
Yeah,
I just been having so much fun betting golf. It's just a total different strategy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just Brayton just unloads everywhere.
Yeah.
He can't
every
help
long
himself.
side. Yeah. It's fun.
Brayton, who you got this weekend? Who are some of your outrights that are looking good?
Let me check.
I've got Shane Lowry as an outright right now, who he's tied for 5th. That'd be nice. I've got Joe Highsmith, who's a really long shot at. He's in 14th right now. He's 4 shots off the lead.
Yeah, I got Lowry. Let's see. What is this name? Ryo Isatune?
The Japanese guy? Yeah, I have him too. I got on him after yesterday's round.
Tied 2nd, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Jacob Bridgman that's in 1st right now.
When did you get on him? Was that an early play?
Early, because he plus 8,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was a long shot. I don't think I got on him because it was just it's a little outside my threshold, but good for you.
I
That'd
don't
be
really.
massive.
I don't know if I have
You
a
get it.
threshold. You know. I'm still
Yeah,
learning.
I mean, if you hit him at 80-1, man, you're
Yeah.
good for a couple tournaments.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Braden, were you able to watch Sigma stream the other day?
I did, man. It was really good.
Yeah, it was
He
good.
he did a really good job of hosting, and then his knowledge is second to none. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and he mentioned some things that I've been considering, like he called Caesars a quasi sharp for college basketball, and that's been the book that I've had the hardest time consistently beating. So it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, we'll have to pick his brain on that a little bit more because I haven't been betting into Caesars because my limits are like $10 max bet. But I
told you that probably 3 weeks ago. I was like,
yeah,
man, are y'all having trouble beating Caesars on college basketball? I was. So
interesting. I don't know how they can be sharp if they're only willing to take like an $8 bet for me, but whatever.
Right.
Falco's saying there must be a glitch. There's a lot of red in his bracket. There hasn't been any like too many huge up. I think I saw it was the first year that there's been no 1, 2, or 3 seed upset. Is that correct? That finished through?
It seems like. I mean, it seemed like the previous years we've had bigger upsets than the first 2 days for sure.
Yeah. D. Cole Sports said he's having trouble with Hard Rock as well. I mean, depending on how many bets you have into Hard Rock, it's hard to judge. If you have like 1,000 bets into like one market, and you're down, then I would definitely think there might be an issue there. But Hard Rock is notoriously soft, so I wouldn't be like too worried about Hard Rock long term. I would keep betting it unless you think there's something definitely wrong with it. But I want to break down my MLB stats a little bit more.
I cannot wait for baseball, man.
While we wait for our, bot to fire back up here because they're down and
what were you saying?
Find some pings using sharp money. We could also build a couple promos. We could try and find a promo, but we'd love to just answer your guys' questions about baseball or anything.
Yeah, I already used my FanDuel like college boost. I'll pull up. I'll talk about how I use an odds screen if you want. I'll pull up unabated, which I use once in a while. This is what I usually, if I'm building like a parlay with a like for a promo, I usually use the unabated odds screen because I'm just looking for like the best value in the market to like put the parlay together. So I'm sharing the screen now, right? Cool. So I think earlier, like I took Tennessee. I think it's still what I really look for is this low hold percentage. If I see a low hold, then I think one side of the bet probably has value. So like I saw, let's see, I think Tennessee was one bet. So like a 1.6% low hold here, where bookmakers at minus 137, FanDuel is at they're minus 237. FanDuel is minus 210. And I kind of just look at where this market is moving. And this is from like last night or even earlier. It's from like minus 220. Bookmakers moved to minus 237. So like to me, this market is moving in the right direction. And this isn't necessarily an EV play at minus 210. But since like the market is moving that way, then it's something that I like to add to like a parlay because a lot of times these actually will close with value. So I think I did Tennessee and St. John's because St. John's was steaming pretty hard too, I think.
I had Tennessee in the daily double, so we were on the same page there.
Yeah, and that's kind of this is kind of the same strategy you kind of look for as well. It's just like looking for market movement.
Correct, yeah. So I couldn't find another college basketball play I liked this morning though when I was doing my daily double.
The bet 105, that new book we've been kind of talking about, they mirror Pinnacle, but so they're really sharp, obviously. But this week, or for the first round, they've been doing minus 103 spreads on both sides of the line. And they don't limit customers. So they're like a good out for everyone. And I think the fact that their market is so tight that it's made the entire market very tight as well. Because if anyone is an outlier to bet 105 or bet 105 is an outlier, then that's just going to get bet. Because
I think it's also just March Madness. Like there's so much money being pumped into the books for March Madness too, compared to regular season college basketball. But I think both of them
move more. That I don't know. I just feel like there hasn't been too much movement in the markets like normal. But maybe that's just maybe the books are just more confident in their lines. They'll keep a line stable for a while.
Well, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, we've got a whole season worth of data on these teams, so the opening lines are a lot sharper now than they are at any other point in the season.
Yeah, I kind of expected to have the bot going off nonstop, during March Madness, and it really hasn't, because I think the value's not there,
Yeah, most of it seems to be on like first half stuff and like alternate lines that we're grabbing, but the main lines seem to be pretty much spot on.
Well, I think you'll see that in a lot of sports seasons, though. Like the first 2 weeks is a crapshoot. Then after you get through the first 2 weeks, the next 50% of the season, 60% of the season is really where you have to take advantage. And then the last 25% of the season, the books have so much information at their disposal that this opening lines really tighten up. And there's just not the value that there is in that middle chunk is where you really got to hit them hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And even like ESPN yesterday, I mean, I was able to get down $500 on a play, and normally I can get $50, so they're taking everything.
Yeah, the limits have been a lot better for because even FanDuel on my totals for college basketball, they weren't taking too much, like maybe $200 max, but since March Madness started, they upped their limits as well.
I think Scott's got a good question here, because this happens from time to time. He says, will you take both sides of an NBA total? Like, let's say you hop on a play in the morning and it's steaming one way, and then it turns and steams the other way so that the other side is EV. I would only take both sides, Scott, if you're not creating an opportunity to lose both sides. So like if it steams so far one way that you get, let's say, under 230, and it steams down to like 228, and then it starts coming back, and you can create a middle, then where you have the opportunity to win both bets, I would take both sides. Otherwise, you're better off just kind of riding out. Like what you don't want to do is take under 230 and then take over 232 to where you can lose both sides. You're just creating way too much negative value for yourself. I would just, if in that case, you're going to eat bad closing lines every once in a while doing this. There's no, like, you can still win a bad close. You just obviously, to be long-term profitable, you want to be on the right side of close more times than not.
So if you're not creating a reverse middle to yourself, you would bet both sides though.
If I can create a middle, or if I can have value on both sides to where I can't lose both bets, then yeah. I mean, you're just, by doing that, especially if both bets are EV, you're just decreasing risk, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I think so. His question is more like he bet the under early in the day at plus EV. Now the market's moving the opposite way. He has a negative EV bet sitting in his slip. Should he place the positive EV bet on the other side? And I think the answer is yes, you should, as long as you're not creating a middle where you can lose both.
A reverse middle.
Yeah. The way I view it is, I made the mistake earlier. There's nothing I can do about it. But what I can do is place another positive EV bet. And that's just how I view it. And honestly, I would take it bet by bet, Go ahead, Brayden. Sorry.
Yeah, just kind of take it bet by bet and then see what would happen if you bet the other side. Are you guaranteeing a loss by betting the other side? Or are you hedging to where the loss is very, very minimal, or you set yourself up to win a little bit on the side that it's steaming to. But if you can create an actual middle, you bet it every day because you're minimizing risk and for a larger reward that may or may not happen. So
yeah, the plus EV side pretty much becomes a hedge. That's what Scott's saying. But the other thing you can do, so if you did 1 unit on the under and the over steaming, and you do 1 unit on the over, you're basically hedging with that plus EV bet. You might still be, you pretty much say you're break even with it. What I do a lot of the times is if I don't have the reverse middle, I'll go 2 units on the part that's steaming now. So now I have more money on the plus EV side than I did on my negative EV bet. So that's just how I view it.
And I've done that as well. And like I said, it kind of just depends. I kind of look at each scenario, on its own.
Yeah, I agree. Falco asked if any of us use P2s. So I don't. The only P2 I ever built was my wife's account on Fliff, which was really bad timing because that's right when Fliff built like the auto mover. So like I literally haven't even bet with it, but I did create a Fliff one, and that's all I've had. I haven't used any P2s. I've talked about this before, but I really focus on. I pretty much only bet into FanDuel now. I place small edges with good steam, which allows me to get down like decent chunks of money. So I haven't had to build P2s yet. But if FanDuel ever really, really cracked down, then I probably would have to if I wanted to continue. But there's so many new books popping up that I haven't even I haven't even gone into the offshore books at all, really. And I was planning on doing this week, but like reorganizing my entire bankroll and putting in some money into some of the more into the exchanges, more into like the Onyx odds, Bet 105. Like I want to spread it around, Bet Online, and start using those bots. We'll be adding a handful of new bots. So I want to I don't need money in ESPN. I don't need money in MGM. Like they're all toast to me now. So I need to get new books.
It's kind of weird. If Pickett synced to offshores, I would have done it by now. But I just like to have everything in Pickett.
I agree. Yeah, it's like you'd have to like manually write down your balance every day to see how you did, or even weekly.
Yeah.
When I first started betting, I was using like a real ledger, writing every morning. I wrote down my balance for every single book, even though I had Pickett. I was just a hardo about it. Jeff, you got no P2s either, right?
No, I do not. Instead of going the P2 route, I've been going more of the trying to beat sharp books route. Because if you can do that, you can scale just infinitely, essentially. So that's kind of the position I've taken instead of opening a P2.
Yeah, it makes sense. Plus the whole legality of it is also like in question and how you do it. But so many people are doing it. And I don't think the way I thought about this too is like if I build P2s for like all my wife's accounts, say I make, I don't know, 10 grand on her 5 books. So I make $50,000. There's no way that every single book is going to come after you for that money. Like if you get real shitty luck, like maybe one book's prove that you weren't actually betting it and somehow took you to court to like get your 10K back. But I've heard of people getting caught using P2s and they basically will just close your account, but allow you to withdraw your money. So, but I believe like reading through their terms and conditions, they basically say that they do have like a legal right to pursue any like losses if there's like foul play basically. But I don't think FanDuel making $1 billion a month is going to come after me for making 5K on their account and take me to court. Yeah. So I don't know.
What was I had a book recently when I went to do a withdrawal. It might've been Profit X. They had me, I had to send them like a selfie with holding the debit card. Then I had to send them like bank statements. Like I had to send them all kind of stuff to prove it was me.
That's weird. Yeah. I've seen that happen before, even on like books like DraftKings, which is kind of funny. But something flagged him for thinking it might be like, I literally heard like one of my friends, like his dad's account got flagged and he was just like, the most wrecked better ever. And his dad was trying to take money out and he's not even good with like the technology side. So he was like all pissed off that I had to go through this process, which is like so complicated for him, but it probably isn't really that bad. But
right.
It took him like 2 months to get his money out of DraftKings, and now he like refuses to use it.
Man,
I remember he kept saying, he's like, yeah, they're
I was
stealing
wrong.
my money. They're stealing my money. I'm like, no, you just got to go through the process.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, DraftKings doesn't care about the $2,000 you're taking out.
Well, do you guys use the edge card at all?
I haven't, but I looked into it.
Yeah, so like with the edge card, it's actually pretty sweet. I've been using it almost every day, and there's some books out there that require a playthrough, and there's some books that don't. So I've been just kind of depositing and withdrawing, deposit every morning, withdraw every evening, and you can make some nice cash on the edge card.
We'll explain the edge card to people that don't know. I think it's called the edge boost card. But basically, it's like
edge boost. Yeah,
it's like a debit card that basically gives you cash back for withdrawing or for depositing into sports books. So essentially, you can just like keep withdrawing and depositing using your card, and you get like a 0.5% cash back, which is really, it can add up quick. I think there's like a cap where you can only make like $750 a month, but if you're able to move like 5 or 10K a day, then you can make that money like real easy. But some books require playthroughs. Which ones require playthroughs and which don't?
The ones that I'm using right now is FanDuel requires a one-time playthrough. ProfitX requires a one-time playthrough. DraftKings does not require a playthrough, and BetParks does not require a playthrough. So like I'm super limited on those books, but I've been able to deposit. And if you just deposited and withdraw it without playing at all, I think they would flag you and like just restrict your account on, limit you on deposits. So I'll deposit in the morning, and even though I'm super limited, I'll just play through what I can in a day and then withdraw in the evening. And I haven't had any issues yet. This is the first month that I've done it, but so I'm playing through some of the money, just not all of it.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like I got to get more serious about taking advantage of these things that are in the industry right now.
But I had just set up, like after talking with my CPA, I had just set up like dedicated bank accounts, have a debit card just for this. And so like, I don't know, just changing it up would kind of mess with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Brayton, just link the edge card, the edge boost straight to your bank account. And then you can take, well, you can either deposit to the edge boost card through a bank account or through a credit card. So just link it to your sports betting bank account, and then you can just deposit and withdraw with the boost card versus your debit card.
All right. Yeah. Then I'm looking at it. Yeah.
And then you're making cash back on it every day.
It'll take it right out of your bank account. You don't have to deposit into the card and then into the book. You have to link your bank account to the Edge Boost card, and you'll deposit from your bank account to the Edge Boost account. And then from the Edge Boost account, you'll deposit and withdraw from the sports books. Gotcha.
I like that.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
I mean, it's just free money.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, I think I'll make like $500 this month from just doing that. So like you're telling me I can make $5,000 in a year, $6,000 in a year by just depositing and withdrawing from sports books? Like, sign me up.
BMAC asked if Pickett can actually be the only tool to track everything related to sports betting. I don't know if it's the only tool that tracks everything, but it's definitely the best tool, and especially the free. Like I have the pro plan, which doesn't really give you too much extra, but the free Pickett app is just like incredible for tracking. 100% recommend it to anyone that's trying to be profitable, or even if they just want to know how much they're winning or losing. It's great, but you can break it down into so many. You can tag different bets a certain way and just kind of see where you're winning and losing money, make adjustments from there. But I think it's awesome.
And the pro lets you do exports, so it's you can really dive deep if you wanted to,
JK asked, with Edge, are you concerned about constant withdrawal and deposits will look like massive income? So no, as long as you have good, it's all tracked bank statements, so you're withdrawing, depositing, it all comes out even in the end. For me, when I claim taxes, I just use a Pickett export to show how much money I've made on the bets. I'm sure I don't know how you probably have to claim the cash back you get as well on Edge card, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be any problem with it looking like you're making so much because you're also depositing the same amount.
Big news. The UFC fighter that's in the Daily Double just steamed 10 cents in our direction.
Nice.
I don't think I put the Daily Double down. It's probably too late.
Brayton.
Yeah, he just lost 10 cents.
Oh man, I was a little. I'm burnt out. I put a lot of work in last night. So
Yeah, you did. you deserve a little break. I mean, if the bot's down right now, it's a good time to take a breather.
I had 81 bets yesterday.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot for me.
Yeah.
I see. There's a question: does Braxton post his picks on Pickett? My Pickett is public. Everything's public, so you can see everything I do. Nothing's hidden or private. So
What's it, Brayton P. Lighter on there?
Yeah, Braxton P. Lighter.
Oh yeah, Braxton. Here's another question about the edge card. Do you withdraw and deposit every day for all your books, or you just pick a few probably?
So the only books that if it has a playthrough and I'm super limited on it, it doesn't make much sense because the return just isn't worth the time to do it. But it's really just those 3 books that I talked about earlier that I'll deposit and withdraw every day. It takes, I don't know, 5 minutes to deposit and withdraw from 3 different books. The card's already saved, so I just have to put in the security code, and it doesn't take much time at all.
Yeah, once you get a little process down, I'm sure it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's just 5 minutes every morning, 5 minutes every evening.
So it's listed as what, cash back? So how do you use the cash back?
So at the end of every month, Edge Boost will take the cash back and just deposit it right in your account.
Oh, that's sweet.
So like at the end of the month, whatever I've made in cash back will just appear in my balance in Edge Boost.
Yeah, it's probably I'm sure like arbitrage bettors can absolutely hammer this because
Elf on Twitter.
Yeah.
Elf is making like $2,000 a month off the Edge card.
Yeah,
like just moving massive amounts of money. And he started out in arbitrage stuff. I know he does some other things now too, but he was a live arb better.
Have you been watching that Twitter drama going on?
Dude, I try not to get caught up in that shit, but I saw he was in Vegas and then now he's in Florida with Amanda Vance, and I don't know. I'm not into all that soap opera bullshit. Like I get what he's doing. He's just trying to create content, but that's not my style.
Yeah, no, he's a genius. He originally started the spaces to like call out, the fake cappers, I think. And then I think he kind of realized, holy shit, this is like way more entertaining than talking about arbitrage betting on streams. And people started loving it. And he gets a lot of smack from the sharp guys now because he gives them such a platform. But it's like, dude, his name's getting out there. People are talking about him. Like it's.
He's going to be able to make a living off just content creation easy.
Yep. But yeah, I have not listened to. I try to completely stay out of it. Like I said, I just got on Twitter like a few months ago, and I was trying to like follow all these sharp guys, and then all of a sudden it just went to like no one's talking about sports betting anymore. We're just talking about like all this.
Dude, it's just drama. It's like,
yeah, I'm almost embarrassed to say, but I watched that fight that he like live.
Live.
He was streaming.
Now, Brayton, here's the real question: did you bet on it? Because they had lines on Bet Online.
No, I don't have I probably would have, but I don't have my Bet Online funded. I have the account open, just never funded it.
Yeah, they had lines for that fight on Bet Online.
Yeah, and it was the line was moving when they showed Mozzie like sparring. The line started moving because they saw how he threw a punch. That shit's funny.
Yeah. Well, and then did you guys? He did. There was a bet if he could do like 50 push-ups in a minute or something. And there were freaking lines on the exchanges and stuff for it. It's just wild.
Crazy. It's crazy.
He's got that sleeper build though. I was when he started doing that, I didn't think he would come close to that.
Yeah.
He's pretty jacked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he is.
looks like the scrawniest little kid, and then he just took his shirt off and started pumping out these push-ups. I was like, okay,
It's funny.
yeah, it is. I guess I mean, we're talking about it, we're laughing about it, so he's getting entertainment out there.
And that's all he cares about. He just wants people to talk about it, and he wants the engagement.
Yeah,
He wants to just farm engagement on social media, and he's doing a hell of a job at it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I would do this if I had that platform and people were paying attention to me like that. I'd ride it.
It just seems so exhausting doing that for hours every night. The way he's doing it, there's no way.
Yeah.
Well, he's studying to be an
Also,
actuary, so like he puts in a full day of work, and then he
Yeah.
streams these spaces from like 8 p.m. Eastern to like 3 a.m. Eastern. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's
I don't know
not
when the man sleeps,
no.
but he's also like extremely ADHD, so it's like he's just always wired. It feels like.
Yeah, he's always going. Yeah, I'm pumped for baseball though. So nice getting new sports in.
I think it's like what I started EV betting on, so I can't wait. It was the first little bit of success that I had, and so I'm just excited about it.
You were with us day one, right?
Yeah,
Smart money.
I had started on OddsJam, and I was betting a shit ton of like NBA player props until I met y'all and I was day one. But yeah, I couldn't understand on OddsJam like how to make how is this going to last, because I'm going to get limited. I'm not seeing any main lines, and then switched over with y'all with the bots and started hitting that's when MLB started, and we were able to hit more main and alt lines, and so it kind of opened me up to a whole different idea.
Yeah, it's really different style. Like so many people, I talked about this before too, but so many people are just like only take 3% and up. And it's like, I find all my bets are like 1% EV with like just good steam and their main market. So I'm able to get down full units on them, even at a high bankroll. It's like, that's the difference. And the markets are tight. Like they're more accurate. The EV, even though it's 1%, we're betting into real liquid markets. So we know that 1% is actually a true value.
Yeah. My all-time ROI is like 2%, like right at 2%. So
yeah,
like I'm betting a lot of 1% and 2% edges,
Yeah. I still have mine pulled up right here. It's 3.57% long-term ROI. And I'm literally placing 1% bets like all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question. How much do you recommend to put down for bot plays? So the bot also shows you the Kelly criterion formula, which is just a unit sizing formula to like maximize your upswings, minimize your downswings. So I would typically, if you're just new to EV betting, I would recommend just playing like a quarter Kelly on everything. But yeah, it tells you how much to bet, how many units to bet. Your unit size should be about 1% of your bankroll. So if you keep it real simple, you have a $1,000 bankroll, then your unit size should be $10 per bet. So if the bot tells you at 1/4 Kelly to put 2 units down, that's a $20 bet for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stay pretty consistent with the betting half Kelly. If a play's steaming a ton, I might go up. Yeah, but for the most part, I'm pretty consistent.
Here's ET said, you guys mentioned the first 2 weeks of a season, the sharp / the steam could be wrong until they get more data. Would you still go quarter Kelly or even less? I mean, it's a good question. I would almost just like flap at it or something to start. But yeah, I wouldn't go more. I wouldn't start with a half Kelly. So quarter Kelly or less for sure. And then even if you just wanted to like do a quarter unit on like every play and just kind of make sure everything's looking good. But pretty much we just need to give the sharp bettors that grace period to collect the data and figure it out is essentially what we want to do, because we do it all the time where we just dive right in week 1, week 2 of a season and we get smoked. And then we're just digging out of a hole for the whole rest of the season.
Yeah. And I think we always talk about kind of starting off slow when the season starts, but none of us do it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that before you hopped on, Brayden.
Yeah.
Chat D said, so if bot says 1.62 units, your unit size is $10. What would you lay? So yeah, just multiply 10 by 1.26. That'll be $16 there. That's what you would put down as the bot play.
Yeah, I'd probably say $15, and that's how I would do it. But
yeah, or you can just round we
it.
also say this too, like, that bot play would be telling you to put $16.20 down. Like, don't be putting change on bets just because it looks suspicious to the books if you're betting like such.
It looks sharp.
Units. So I would just do $15 or something like that. But yeah, just multiply your unit size, like your unit, so $10 times the amount of units it wants you to bet. It gives you that number to place.
Jeff, you UFC guys down to plus 104.
Hell yeah.
Pad said he's been with us since August. Nice. It's a long-term member right there. Doing well with the bots. Sometimes the charts are perfect to put a lot down on. Yeah, like I always round up. If I see a good chart, then I go much heavier. So going back to this play, if the chart is steaming in our direction, it says 1.62, like I'm probably putting 2 units on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And yeah, that would be plays I would hammer. When you see, like, to me, closer to game time, like an hour or two out with like 10-cent movement in one direction, those are the hammer plays. Even at low EVs, I consider those hammers.
Yeah. When you
hammer
see
locks.
Hammer locks, mega whales of the day.
Yeah, when you see Pinnacle.
I hate cappers that post that shit. Here's your lock of the day.
What I don't understand is those guys that are like, whale 300 unit play. It's like, what are your units? Like, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the $10 like unit max unit.
What's your unit?
Yeah.
If you're just rolling through bankrolls fast.
And then they don't get any shit about hiding all their stats, but then I get shit on for having a 1% lifetime ROI over millions of dollars placed into. Yeah, it's like, all right, yep, this makes sense.
Yeah.
The people don't understand the sports betting ROI and how.
No.
Why would I follow math? He has a 1% ROI.
Yeah,
dude. Let me get you a 1% ROI on $1,000 bet, or you could have a 3% ROI on $10 bet.
Right.
Oh, bots cruising. Let's go see what's popping up.
Lakers Bulls. I like it.
Here we go. All right, so we've been streaming for a while without looking at our Discord because our bots were down. But Lakers Bulls getting 11.5. We see this drop from minus 145 down to minus 155. So there's our 10-cent steam with a 1% EV. I'm going to play it because everything's trending down. Even if FanDuel is trending down. So that's what we're looking for. So let's Bulls plus 11.5 minus 138. Let's see if it's still available.
So this one has huge potential to gain a lot of value. Lakers injury report looks like this morning. But we've got Gabe Vincent questionable, Vanderbilt probable, Dorian Finney-Smith probable, Rui questionable, LeBron questionable, Reeves probable, Doncic probable. So, like, literally the entire team is on the injury report. You have 3 or 4 of those guys sit, and this is going to get massive closing line.
Yep. I put a unit on this one. He said it's recommending 3/4 of a unit to play half Kelly. This far out from game time, if you want to go quarter Kelly, that's cool as well. But like Matt said, I think there's a lot of upside here. We already see FanDuel moving down too, so we know that FanDuel isn't staying on that line.
Mm-hmm. Like Rui and LeBron are both coming back from injury. This is the first time they've been questionable instead of just out. So there's probably a pretty good chance that Rui and LeBron don't play tonight.
Yeah. Bulls first half also pinged. So this is a higher edge. I might throw this one on here as well, just for small.
I'm gonna put a little bit on it.
Don't go. Don't overexpose yourself here. Don't put 2 units on both. I don't want to put more than 3 units on correlated plays. So these are obviously correlated with Bulls first half and Bulls full game. So
I was just not listening to that advice last night. I promise you.
Yeah, you were just slamming everything.
Hopefully they don't Spurs us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Dude, I got like 28% closing value on that Spurs under yesterday, and it got smoked.
Oh, I'm well aware it got smoked.
Yeah, you were there.
I'm well aware.
So
is my bank, or so is my bankroll.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this. I grabbed under 241.5 at -110. It closed -190 for 25% EV. That's the best available. Never mind if we did it to like Pinnacle, or Pinnacle didn't even pop up here. So yeah, it's crazy, 25%. And I also hit it again for 300 at 4 points lower. Also closed well. Also a loss.
Yeah, I guess we hit the dog of the day yesterday. I got a $43 bonus bet.
What was who won that one?
It must have been a Colorado State. That's what I bet.
Is that a
Jay? I think that's what Jay went with too. So.
Yeah, Jay's in the chat. He got he's been working on the bot the last hour trying to get it up and running. So thank you, Jay.
Jay's a TikTok star now, man. I follow Jay. I watch everything he puts out.
Yeah, we've been trying to push TikTok a little bit. Jay's been taking over that channel.
He's been grinding.
Yeah, awesome.
Chris asked what price. I'm assuming he's meant this one. So Bulls plus 6.5 for the first half, -118 on FanDuel.
118. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Now that we can actually advertise the bots a little bit, we're running a little promo here for the streams. We'll probably be throwing these promos out every once in a while on stream. Where's my banner? Right here. So we're offering 25% off your first month of any premium product, whether that's prop bots or the main bot or combo. 25% off first month using the promo code Sharp Money Stream. And I'll give you access to all of our Plus EV bots for every book that we have. Right now, DraftKings is currently free for any member. So if you're interested in like how to use a bot and finding good bets, then I would start with the free DraftKings bot. And then if you have good success with that, if you like the process, then upgrade your package and get access to the 25 plus other books that we have. So I'll leave that on stream for a minute.
I think it's a perfect time to come in and learn a little bit during March Madness and NBA, and then be prepared for baseball season. Because I truly believe these bots are for baseball are second to none. The way we're showing everything and the information we give. So,
well, here's another good point about baseball and like maybe why our bots are probably better than some others is that when NBA news breaks and LeBron's out, that is going to move that market in like an insane amount. But so even if like your number 3 batter gets ruled out of an MLB game, it's not going to change much at all. So you're not seeing these like massive like 3% edges, these big arbitrage opportunities when people get ruled out. So It's like you have to probably focus on these smaller edges anyway, because you only find edges for the most part when a market is moving. So the MLB market does not move that much. I mean, obviously, if there's the biggest thing that would move something is a pitcher. If you're playing like overnight and you assume a pitcher's going to start and then they, start someone else, like that's the biggest movement you're going to get. But even a star player being ruled out before the game starts is not going to move a market that much. So you really do need to focus on the small EV plays, because you're not going to find 3% EV plays on like a MLB spread, most likely.
Yeah. And I remember when basketball first started back up and Jeff did his stream solo and he was talking about basketball is a little different. You want to see these 10-cent drops. We don't in baseball. You're not going to see these huge drops in price.
I don't think you will either.
You're looking for like a trend, but it's not going to be as drastic.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm gonna share. Let me try to find I'm gonna throw the link to our WAP page down below if people want to sign up and use. So I'm going to post bundle package, which is our prop bots and our main bot. Let me copy that link. PK asked when we're doing 25% off lifetime. We've ran lifetime promos before, especially with Sigma. We got so many people locked in at like $50 when hold on one second, phone call. I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah, PK, we've done lifetime promos in the past. We'll probably run some, maybe not a lifetime promo, but we'll probably run some sort of promo for opening day next week. We'll probably run some type of promo our 1 year of Sharp Money. Crazy that we haven't even been operational for an entire year yet. We'll be beginning of April. We'll probably run a promo there too. So you'll have some promo opportunities coming up.
Okay, let's read through this one. All right, Kiss Me, I'm Irish. Name sounds familiar. I know you've been in the chats before. So love the content, interesting and starting out really small and grind out a bankroll a little bit. What is the minimum unit size you believe has value? And should I just slam every plus EV play if I have time? He has 4:30 to 5:30 a.m. open, and then 1 to 2 basically, and then after 5 to scan. So yeah, when I first started, it's hard to tell exactly what bankroll size you should start at, but let me tell you where I started. I started with $2,000. I was betting $10 to $20 a play. I was waking up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, betting before work, and then taking some bets throughout the day at work. And then before game time, probably like 5 p.m., like you were saying, you could have time to scan. I think that's prime time. And yeah, you'll have really good success doing that. So I always recommend people starting with like $1,000, right? Like $10 unit sizes. But I've had people, I think Falco was one of the ones that started with like literally like $100 unit size. I'm in a bankroll and just absolutely like grew like crazy. All right here, as he was in the chat, started with 100. So it started with $150 bankroll with $1.50 unit sizes. I told him not to start until he had more. Anyway, and now he's scaled up to $100
units. That's incredible.
He's my favorite story. So although I might be recommending having a bigger bankroll to start, but
I think a lot of our members started with, I started with $1,000 bankroll. But I think there's a good bit of them that started with $100, $200 and just grinded it out. And, a year later, they have some large bankrolls in here from just grinding through these plays.
Yeah. He also brought up like part of the reason I tell people not to start with, $1 units is exactly what he's saying here. He thinks that because even at lower unit sizes, your accounts might get limited. You just won't notice it because you're not placing big bets. But if your accounts get limited placing $1 wagers, it kind of sucks compared to it getting limited at $100 wagers. So it can hurt your long-term growth. But I also, play devil's advocate a little bit here. If you only have $100 extra to invest in something, probably sports betting is probably the number one thing to try to invest in for $100 because that's the only thing you're going to be able to scale up that much. Even though you might be shooting yourself in the foot long term, if you don't have $1,000, you don't think you'll ever be able to save up an extra $1,000, then I guess go for it.
Also depends if you've had these accounts open for a little while, because I know some people just when it first became legal, opened the accounts, put some bets in, didn't make any money, and now they want to take it serious. You probably have, if those accounts are older, you have a little bit of a account health. You're probably marked as square.
Yeah. Jay just said, imagine what you could have done with $100 units. You would have scaled so much quicker. But great work either way. I mean, we always think about that. I'm like, hey, like the thing is, when you start, you're questioning everything. You're not even sure if the process really works. Obviously you believe in it because you put some money towards it, but you don't really fully believe it until you experience it for a year at a time, or if not more. And looking back, I'm like, man, if I only put $10,000 in, I could have made double what I've made so far in my betting journey. But it's like you got to deal with what you have and make the best of what you have.
The scaling is crazy. Like I said, I started with $1,000 and with the games tipped off at 11 a.m. yesterday, my time, and by 12 o'clock, I was down $1,900. So like that was I was double my bankroll when I first started. It's just the scaling's incredible.
Yeah. PK said he's mad that he missed out on the original price offered on the premium combo package. Just learned about it a few weeks ago. We'll be, like I said, Jeff said we're going to be running some good promos really shortly. I'm going to say that 1 year anniversary promo, we haven't talked about it yet, but that's probably going to be a really good deal, I'm assuming. So keep an eye out for that one.
And the Discord y'all have made improvements and additions to it throughout the year I've been with y'all. So y'all are constantly kind of reinvesting in your product. So it's only going to get better. Yeah, exactly. Looking back, like what we started with compared to what we have now for a product is just like night and day. Kiss Me said he's going to probably start with 2 or 3K. Yeah. Perfect. So that's a great number to start with. Yeah. What I would say is just like, make sure you understand the concepts before you dive in fully, because you will go on losing streaks, especially when you're learning. You're going to make mistakes. So if you don't trust the math and you don't understand the concepts, you haven't done your research, then you're just going to quit right away. So 2 or 3K is a really good number to start at. I think Jeff started with $1,000 and he's built this bankroll higher than me, I believe. So that's anything above 1K is awesome. Yeah. And I think when you first start, and our Discord is really good at helping each other. And so you see a play and you're questioning it, send a screenshot or whatever to the group and ask questions and see, some of the more experienced members will explain their thought process on it. Exactly. Or DM us and we can walk through it. Yeah, that's the thing we have. And then, so if you're just starting too, promos are basically like cheat codes to making money sports betting. Like, take advantage of all the promos that this books offer you if you're just opening accounts. And we have a promo team that flags good promos to bet. So definitely take advantage of them. And like I said, our moderators and everyone, our community is just so experienced in EV betting that it brings so much value just to be a part of the community, I believe. All right, here's one from Jack. Started with a $5 unit size. Got lucky, a little degen betting, $250 sign-up bonus, profiting $500. Now he's at $30 units after a year. Not as good as others, but still proud of it. Yeah, you can't. Other thing, don't compare yourself.
That's a 600% increase. Literally 6x your unit size in 12 months. That's incredible.
Yeah. Because people, like, I find myself doing it too, where it's like, I see these people making like $100K a year, and it's just like I'm just in a different. Like, they're probably doing this full time. I'm still doing this part time. I got kids. I got a wife. I got a full-time job. Like you just can't compare. You might not have many hours, smaller bankroll size, but sounds like you're still crushing it. I mean, that's a huge jump in 1 year.
And people run hot, people run cold. Like, we're all doing the same thing, But yeah, variance is real, and you'll see your buddy all of a sudden having Chaps is having an incredible month, right? And so watching him, but he had some down months, and now it's all paying off. And you just can't compare yourself because everybody's going to run hot and cold at different times.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, if you're going on a losing streak and you see everyone else winning, like, you're going to assume you're doing something wrong. But unfortunately, that's just EV betting. Is like, you might be on good plays, you might be getting value, but you could lose poorly, even on like the same type of plays that other people are getting. So it's funny. Like, the bot probably spits out over 1,000 plays a day. If Brayton grabs 100 plays, I grab 100 plays. We could have completely different records, assuming that we're not grabbing many of the same plays. So
right,
just because some people are posting good days and you're having bad days, you just got to stick with it and trust it. A lot of people aren't going to post their bad days either. So if you're only seeing people post winners, because people don't like posting their losers as well. So, question up here: are you guys doing any live betting? I have not. Like, this just conflicts with my schedule. Once the games start around 7 o'clock at night, that's when I'm hanging out with the family and not betting anymore. So I do no live betting, never really have. But I think there's a ton of value in live betting because the limits go up a little bit. They let you bet a little bit more. So if you can live bet, I would definitely recommend looking into it.
I did last night.
Yeah, you pulled out all the stops. He was arbitrage betting. He was middle betting. He was EV betting. He was.
I don't even want to explain to you what I was doing because it was not picking EV plays or anything. I was just line shopping on Pickett.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The beers were talking.
Oh, dude, I was doing anything just to get volume down.
So
I've done a lot of live betting over the last few years, and I will say, 2 years ago, it was so much easier to live bet edges than it is now. Like the books are really becoming sharper in terms of putting out good lines. Books also, like DraftKings was notoriously just soft for live betting, but now they're really cracking down on people. So the opportunity is definitely there. We don't currently have it as a sharp money product. We've talked about adding it in the future, but I think there's other things that we can add before that'll give you guys more value. But stay tuned. You never know when we come to the point where we're going to add that too, because it is something that we've talked about and are considering eventually.
Yep. Like we've talked about this before too, but our 1 year anniversary is coming up. We've seen every sport once, so we've built all the the bots and stuff we need for every sport. There'll be minor tweaks as the seasons go along and adjustments we make, but I mean we put so much work into building new stuff the past year that we finally get to, like, we don't have to build too much new stuff anymore, so we'll have time to build more things. But here's one user started with $100 bankroll this month and he's up 320. Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
I would say that's good. Very good.
Does Pickett calculate live bets? Yeah. So if you have it calculates your win percentage on the bets that are live. So if you placed a bet and it could show you if it looks like it's going to cash, it'll show you like a 90% win probability. It also shows you how much money you're expected to win. It's really cool feature to especially if you have 50 bets open and they're all going on at once and you see all these different live bets going and the value going up and down. It's cool. Pickett's awesome. Here's a play. Chap's on it, so it's got to be good. Ryan's on it. Alco, Devin, a lot of big names. So overall movement, if we just look at this morning, gone from -109 to -110. So not much movement here.
Tomorrow's game. This is a game for tomorrow.
Ooh, so 2% EV for game tomorrow. No line movement really. Pinnacle's at -110 as well. So no value to Pinnacle, slight value to Bookmaker and Circa. I'm going to hold off on this one, I would say.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Chap would disagree.
Chap is like
you play.
Yeah.
It pings, you hit the button.
Yeah, you obey the bot. You do not. Yeah, so I don't know what Chap said he might. I don't want to jinx the guy, but he said he might have a chance of beating his 2024 profits this month.
In a month.
Not counting the previous month. So
I wonder if he's still killing it in what he was doing, the underdog DFS and stuff, huh?
Yeah, he said they just kind of put the clamps on his account a couple days ago. Camby just pinged a nice college basketball total for the Michigan State game tomorrow.
This one right here. Yep. So here's a good one for Michigan. This is a really good play. This is on Ballybet or Camby Book, which is
Bet Rivers, Bet Parks, Bally.
Yeah. I gotta upload my app. Anyway, I'll talk about this play. So our bot flags what we call plus EV plays. There was one comment in the chat that it seems like they're newer to the plus EV bots and how they work. They said they've never seen a bot flagging picks before. So this is all based on market or prices in the market where we find outlier prices to some of these sharper books. And essentially by doing that, you're finding value and long-term it'll create profits. So here's a play right here where Bookmaker, which is one of our sharp books, has this line set at under 148 points as the favorite at -115. And Ballybet or Camby Book is giving us under 147 for +115. So if we compare these lines, we're projecting that there's a 3.8% edge to take this at plus 115 for a point less because Circa and Bookmaker, our sharper books, have worse prices on it, basically. So I'm going to log on, see if I can get this bet in. FanDuel's pinging up a storm too. Michigan State, New Mexico. And if you're unfamiliar with, what we're kind of talking about here, I have a YouTube channel called Closing Dime. It's all about plus EV betting strategies. So definitely check that out if stuff interests you. It's not just strictly following plays that the bot spits at you. Like, there is some knowledge behind it and like which ones are good to take and which aren't good to take. But I'd say most of them are good, but you just have to pick your spots. Let's see. Michigan State. Did anyone hit this one? Is it still good? Let's see, total. And this probably could be laddered too.
It was, at least on Bet Parks, the value was there to ladder, but it wasn't as good as it usually is. So, like, your EV percentage went down when you went to ladder.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I could
only get $11 down on the total.
Yep. So I got $28 down. So the other line here is under 146 for plus 128, and that's also value. So I'm taking that. Like I said, I try to mostly focus on FanDuel because that's where I get all my money down. So let's see. Jace plays on this one, so hopefully it's good. So George Mason versus Bradley here. We have a first half under 62.5. Bookmaker and Circa have it priced at under 61.5 for minus 110. So we're getting an extra point and a 2 cents less cheaper. So I like this play. Pinnacle's also at minus 118. I typically like to see a 10 cents gap between Pinnacle and this book as well. So we have exactly 10 cents there. 3% EV play. I'll take this one. George Mason versus Bradley under 62.5, minus 108. Play I'm taking. Also close to game time, so I think we can trust it a little bit more. Yeah, FanDuel, you can let me get some money down here. So we're in here. Wisconsin BYU is only got Circa line. 2.5% Circa. I might take this.
Which one?
It's just a Circa, Wisconsin BYU. 2.5%. There's no, I could look up. There's no movement really here.
That's a Circa line from yesterday morning.
Oh, so yeah, Circa hasn't even moved.
So Circa's been sitting at that for
that's
over a day.
Good thing. But then, yeah, I don't know. Depends on when FanDuel opened it, I guess.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to lay off it, but
yeah, it's like if you want to play, it's a small play. It's not a big one.
Should we ask Chap?
Yeah.
Chap, what would you do?
Chap's already on it.
Yeah,
Chap was on it before it pinged.
We know if the placed button feature is broken if we don't see Chap's name on it. You just know that the button's probably not going to work for you.
Is he listening in? I thought he said he was going to listen in with his son.
Yeah, it's Rob C in the chat.
Okay.
He was there earlier. I don't know if he's still in. He always comes up. He comes up on every live stream, whether he's here or not.
Yes.
Let's look at the there's an ESPN ping for the Purdue McNeese.
Yep.
And it's about to tip.
So Bookmaker moved down recently, 6 cents, and so did Pinnacle. Yeah, I'd play this. Pinnacle is at it's like overall has moved up and then got priced back down. So it looks like ESPN might have
Tip in a
overshot.
half hour. Oh, did it just clear?
Yep. So value disappeared, which means the bot clears it. If you see an empty channel, it doesn't mean you're locked out. It just means there's no current value on that sports book compared to the sharp books, essentially. Here's a big EV play. No movement in the market at all. But the EV is so big that even if it was moving against us a little bit, I'd play it. George Mason Bradley. Did we already take a George Mason Bradley? Did we play the under? Or we played
that? Yeah, I'm showing that I have the under 62.5.
All right, so this is another.
That's what just pinged.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this under 62 is really.
That's what we took. Yeah,
looking better now. Even better than we hit it at. So that means if that's steaming, and this one's also probably really good, I'm gonna go in for a little bit more. Under 59.5 plus 154. I'll grab that alt line. It's gone. Just moved literally as I was trying to decide how much I want to put down, and moved from under 59.5 to under 58.5. So they moved it a whole point on us.
Yep, 58.5.
No longer good, but confirms that that's a good price. I guarantee you this other. Yep. So another skull on this other one. So we all got down on this bet before they moved the line, which is awesome. That's what you want to see. I like getting the bet in first and then seeing the line move, not the other way around, but always feels good when you get in right before they changed. Let's see. Bulls still pinging. Bulls might be pinging all day long if it keeps moving towards the Bulls. All right, boys. I think about time to wrap it up here. Actually, we got any more questions? You know, which bot? All the bots work the same way. So, like for me, I have the best results with FanDuel just because I use them more often. But
yeah,
I would say that you're basically looking at which book you're betting into. Like MGM, easy to beat. Like I think even DraftKings is easy to beat. ESPN, like those are probably going to be your higher ROIs because they're softer books. So I would, if you're starting, I would probably focus on some of the softer books to start before you try taking on like FanDuel. But
yeah, I think when I started, I really wasn't betting into FanDuel much, and now it's all I bet into.
Exactly. There are so many people out there that just can't beat FanDuel, and to be able to, because they have high limits because they know they're like somewhat accurate. So I think knowing which way they're moving is key in understanding how the charts work. So, all right, that's going to do it. Any last words, you guys?
No.
Good luck, man.
Yep. All right. Good luck, everyone.
Let's start off the day today like we did yesterday. That's all.
Yeah, don't start at 1-8. It's going to be another. You can't go back-to-back heavy drinking days. So
no.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.